said the age of heroes would never come again.
It will. It has to.
We're going to go over the DCEU with a watch party commentary, starting with a film that started it all, Man of Steel here. Still have the Blu-ray. So everybody out there, get your drinks, get your snacks, get your soundtrack if you want, and let's talk about Man of Steel.
This is going to be fun. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I saw this movie when it came out. I was junior in high school, and I saw this movie opening weekend 5 times in IMAX. I loved every single minute of it. Hans Zimmer score, incredible. Henry Cavill, first time seeing him as Superman. Amazing. Say what you will about Zack Snyder as a director, but he's one of my favorites, and I'm so happy he got to direct this version of Superman. And yeah, I'm just excited to see this movie again.
Oh yeah, same here. And no, when you talked about IMAX, I'll talk about it like when in the first flight sequence, but got a piece of IMAX film here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a long story. I went to like a theater.
Uh-huh.
So that's like when he's flying.
Yeah.
I went to like a theater, and we were like on a field trip, and we got to see like how they did the IMAX projection. And I had a Superman hoodie, a Man of Steel hoodie at the time.
Yeah.
And during that time, he's just like, "Hey, you with a Superman hoodie, I have something for you." And he cut a piece of Man of Steel film.
Way.
I was flipping out.
Oh,
I asked him if he had any Dark Knight Rises, and he's just like, "Nope, the studio wanted all those back."
Oh, really?
So,
but I mean, come on, it's. I can't wait to get into that first flight scene, but I'll talk about it more. But it's one of the scenes where it makes me continue to want to be a filmmaker, to go on the journey.
Yeah,
we'll get to it. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm with you. I saw this like with Dark Knight Rises. It's 8 times in theaters. This is the most I've seen a movie in theaters, and one of them was at a student theater, and I saw it back to back at like a 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock showing. Kind of regretted it halfway through the 9 o'clock because I was sitting down so long. But
yeah,
without further ado, everyone, we got Countdown to Zero. Everyone, we're about to start it. So for everyone out there, for you, Mauricio, we'll count down 3, 2, 1, go. Awesome.
I'm excited. You can even tell by the opening of this.
WB and the music, Hans Zimmer score in this.
Amazing.
And it was trailer 3 that won me over on this film. I love the teaser. I love the trailer too, but like that Nokia trailer with like, what are you gonna do when you're saving the world or whatever? Yeah, I love that trailer. I was like, I have to see this.
You know what I love about this one too? I mean, just by the opening, you could. Well, I sense that there's so much mythology into this version of Superman. That's why I love it, and I was so intrigued. Of course, say what you will, we're gonna get into the DCU more in depth, but I don't know. It feels like it had so much potential,
right?
And it sucks that it went to wasted potential because we could have had a sequel. We didn't have to wait 10 years or 11 years, whatever, to get a reboot of Superman. Come on.
We could have had like a straight up. I mean, we kind of did, but like a straight up another solo Superman.
It wasn't a sequel though.
Yeah, I mean it was after, but like I know what you mean. Like what the promise of this film had, and like the world of Superman. I love this with like his birth.
Yeah,
and give it up for Russell Crowe as Jor-El.
Amazing. Fantastic. Yeah. And to think that you had to, in theory, compete against Marlon Brando? Come on.
What I liked about this Superman is that they made it their own. And it also,
very much so.
To me, it reminded me a lot of the 80s and 90s comic books.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a more organic Fortress of Solitude in the way Clark was and everything. Oh, man, birth of Superman here.
I love the color palette. Yeah, look at that world of Krypton.
Very different Krypton.
Yeah.
Some of it also kind of reminded me a little bit of the animated series, just a little bit as far as like the creatures and stuff.
Yeah. Put some subtitles on.
They have a counselor who does not understand, that does not heed his warnings.
The costume design of Krypton, it's rich.
I also love what they do with Jor-El here and how it sets up like his Superman armor later on with the suit.
Oh yeah. What's funny though, and I'm just starting to remember the movie. McFarlane just came out with Ghost of Krypton. It's a wave of Val-Zod and Superman and all that. And the
Yeah.
armor that they wear, it kind of reminds me of this in a sense.
Yeah, with the shoulder pads and everything, and the chest
Yeah.
plate. Dang it, Zod here.
What an entrance.
Yeah.
You got Feora.
Yeah, Feora.
Yo, and to think that Zod's costume is CGI, it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I couldn't tell. And this is for like a film that's 11 years old right now. It looks better than some other films.
Wow, 11 already? Jesus.
2013.
Wow. Michael Shannon as Zod, excellent. Crazy enough to think, though, if we had a movie of Krypton, and I know that was one of the plans before, I thought it would have been amazing.
I've always said that there is like a comic book, actually, of all people, that Jeff Johns did with Richard Donner that actually explored Zod and Jor-El's friendship and then showed how they rifted apart in like the last days of Krypton. I think they did a movie on like this, like whole portion here and how it led up to that. I think that'd be a great film.
Yeah. But you got to have Russell Crowe and Michael Shannon.
Oh yeah, you see though where like they could have agreed, and then like you see too where Zod just kind of went over the line a bit of like nope.
Yep.
I love this with Keelix. Yeah, it's Carla Cugino that plays the voice of this computer here, Silk Spectre, the older Silk Spectre from Watchmen.
You know, I still say she would. I think she would have been a great Catwoman in Zack Snyder's verse.
Yeah, with Ben Affleck.
Oh man.
I love the action here. This scene coming up. Okay, so he's fighting, and then he's going to talk to Laura. It's like prepare the ship or whatever. Ready to launch. There's a scene coming up. This is what was the deciding factor this early on for me to buy this on Blu-ray. Where I was just like, I'm going to have to own this movie just for this part alone. And you know what I'm going to talk about? This part
right
here, explosions, yeah.
Oh man. So see, for me, being a junior in high school, I went by myself opening night to see this movie. In IMAX, whoa. I was floored. And it's what, we're only 5 minutes into the movie. I was amazed. I was like, this is what filmmaking is. I get so sucked into it. It's amazing.
It's visuals, the acting, the music, everything coming together, and it's entertaining.
Exactly. Yes.
That and the zooms, they didn't have to do camera movements like this. It's almost like they were there on Krypton the way they filmed this with the CG here.
Yeah.
I love what they do here with the codex. That was something kind of interesting and unique for this film.
For sure, yeah.
Keelix. Yeah, McFarlane Toys did the action figures back then. You bet you Keelix might have been one of the Build-A-Figures.
Yeah, for sure. That's true. I have the Henry Cavill Justice League one, the Superman.
Yeah, I didn't get the blue one. I had the black one. I kind of regret it now that Supergirl's out, but I have an older, what was it, Mattel or Hasbro? Back when the older, like, Man of Steel toys, when they first came out, I have, like, a figurine. It looks good. It's just that it's 6 inches, so it looks really short compared to the McFarlane ones.
I have the red and black suit.
I love that. Yeah, it was a Target exclusive on that one. They had a bunch of variants on the Snyder Cut of Justice League. It's cool, too, that both his fathers on Earth and Krypton played Robin Hood with Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I find very interesting in this film.
That is true. It's amazing, though, in this film that we have Jor-El doing stuff, and it's just not so much of guidance, but you actually see what happened.
Yeah. For a scientist, he sure can fight.
Right, right. But then it makes you question, how old was he back then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
God, the music here.
Hmm. I really think that Snyder was the perfect choice for this incarnation of Superman.
Yeah, definitely. Like say what you will, whether you love it or hate it, this is a 21st century incarnation of Superman right
Mhm.
here.
Yep.
And it's actually pretty faithful to the other movies and comics more than people like to give credit to, actually, in my opinion, especially the comics. It's like I can tell who grew up on the Super Friends stuff versus like the 80s and 90s comics, because like this drew a lot from like those era of comic books.
Oh.
Oh, poor Keelix. That's okay. Everybody's about to die. Whole planet's about to blow up.
I love his costume.
Oh yeah.
I think they played the both Superman parents fantastic casting on both of
Oh
them.
yeah. I forgot the actress's name, but she came out on
Eh,
Angels and Demons with Tom Hanks.
She was in also Daredevil, Netflix.
Oh shit, Vanessa.
Vanessa,
Yes.
yeah, Vanessa. Uh-huh.
Yep.
She'd be a good.
He'll be a god to them. Love that.
I love that Snyder wanted to make this such a real world movie that he filmed it handheld,
Yeah.
which is cool.
He's even Krypton right now feels like it's real, like we're actually there. Here's his
Yeah.
chamber. They're about to send their infant off. I mean, right now that's just like Superman's origin in like almost every incarnation, and they did this perfectly for this
Mm.
one. Here you could really the actress did such a great job, you could really tell their emotion that they're about to send their son off.
Mm-hmm. For something that lasts just a few seconds, this is actually sad. There's a lot of emotion, I feel, between them.
Yep. The performances and like the music by Hans Zimmer adds a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool little detail when you watch it later when they talk about the codex right here. That also supports later for how he could have like also, I mean, besides the mother boxes, also come back to life. And then if they wanted to say explore that untapped potential, they said, oh, he has DNA in there. Well, maybe that's why you get Bizarro when they try to clone him and stuff later in the comics, like something like that.
But
I
we'll
love it.
never know.
I remember WB back in the day on the DVDs and Blu-rays would have like little gift shops you could order from, like mail-in
Mhm.
orders, and they had like a little keychain that was like a metal keychain that looked like the key there, the ship key.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that.
Used to have like the
Wait,
little booklets in the old DVDs. You get
I
like
love this.
pins or little necklaces, and then one of them was like a keychain thing with. I remember they had the name generators online during this when it came out. And you could like type in your name, and it's like, which house are you? And they'd have different Kryptonian house. I love this Apocalypse Now shot here. And then the ship
Look at that.
with the armor. Oh, it's cool because Force Awakens later did a shot similar to Apocalypse Now as well. The TIE fighters reminded me of this shot and then Apocalypse Now. Zod. I love this fight coming up. Launch. Such a good track.
A launch.
A launch.
Man, I love this movie.
such a good movie. I love this shot here where he comes through the smoke here.
Yeah.
Heresy, destroy it. Man, he takes out those guards. I love this 1-2 punch coming up when he fights with Zod. Little sound. Ooh, that hurt.
Yeah. Amazing.
That fighting's so good.
It does
Could you
question
imagine
me though what Jarrell was doing back then.
Yeah. I know in one of the incarnations he was a scientist, but he did know Zod during one of the battles of Kandor in the capital city, so maybe he had some like military experience even though he was a scientist, you know? Or he might have just been doing stuff that he wasn't programmed to do. Since he had
Right.
a natural. It's crazy, but like if they had a prequel movie or like a Last Son of Krypton type of film, like this part here would be so emotional in the third act of like, I mean, you know, they're going to get Superman
Yeah.
off, but it'd still be like a will they, won't they? And it's like the whole race to get him off the planet before it explodes.
I mean, also too, the ending would be that end explosion.
Yeah.
I mean, to leave it on a somber note like that, that's pretty epic.
Oh man, he stabs him. This is going to play a factor later because they use Zod's body to make Doomsday, and he gets stabbed. Superman does in the same way that Jor-El gets killed here, and I thought that was a nice touch.
I read that a few days ago, and I did not notice that.
Yep. Darn, I felt bad here.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. But then, so I was such a driven character, so it's like he didn't want to do that, but he does anything he has to for his people. It shows you how far he'll go. It's Kal-El. Oh, Kal. Son of El. And he's beyond your reach.
I love the score.
Yeah, I don't know if it's this track specifically, but one of them that's similar is Arcade. That's the one where the world is like release the world engine later in the movie is like dun 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 dun.
Also, I think it's called "You'll Be Free."
Yeah, yeah,
it's that one.
That's this specific one. Yeah,
yeah, I love that. I really do hope that James Gunn is able to create something as epic. Of course, in his own style, different. We might not agree with it. We might, who knows? But I really do hope that in this new DCU, there's a lot of epicness, a lot of respect to what these superheroes are meant to. I feel that they show it in the first 10, 15 minutes of this Man of Steel movie, which is incredible. And this is the beginning of this universe, so to say.
Yeah.
But I really hope that there's a little something.
Yeah, because you had other themes like outside of Donner and Zimmer's score, like with Superman and Lois and Clark New Adventures, the animated series Smallville. There's like different themes that were used that were still epic. Just have that feel that measures up to the character of Superman and what he can be.
Yeah. It's gonna be a hard thing. It's gonna be hard.
I always think of Michael Shannon here. He's like, I will find him.
Yeah.
Just for one split second, it was like, and he'll kneel before Zod. No.
Mm-hmm. I wish they had that line in here.
Yeah. The music just does this thing in the ships.
The costume. Man, look at the detail on them.
I know. I remember at the time they remind me a little bit of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man suits, but like I really
black suit.
Yeah, like that kind of texture.
Yeah.
inadvertently in both versions, the Phantom Zone saved their lives.
That's true. Yeah.
The music. Seeing, I don't know if kids y'all weren't around then, but like seeing this opening on the big screen was quite something. Just had an epic, grand feel when you saw it.
I've only seen just a few movies so many times in theaters, and I'm so happy that this is one of them.
Yeah, same here.
The film that I've most watched in theaters was Joker.
Joker, wow.
I saw it 10
That's it.
times.
That the last like 20 minutes of Joker are just pure insanity. I love it. The whole movie's great, but like the last part was like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never saw so many times a film because at that time there's a lot of things going on that I could probably relate to the movie, but it was
Yeah.
just a fantastic movie. The performance of Joaquin Phoenix, A1.
This is so tragic here with Laura
Yeah.
seeing the planet. There's so many beautiful shots in this film. It's sad wondering what if, but at the same time, seeing what was and what is with what's going to happen in the next couple of movies makes this even more epic with Superman.
Yeah.
Like, wow, it's just the start of it. Make a better world than ours, Cal. He'll try. Damn. And then blows up.
I also like in this movie how they told because I'm not really a fan on some stories where you just start off and then you go into the past. But this, I really feel since everyone knows or has an idea of what Superman is, this
Yeah.
movie went right into it.
Yeah, that was something different, and I like that. In many ways, it kind of reminded me of Batman Begins because Batman Begins did that, where it was
Yes,
like a little bit of the
yes.
past, and then it was like kind of
Mhm.
going back and forth. It sort of
I
reminded me of. I mean,
love
it's
Batman
no accident with
Begins.
Christopher Nolan's involvement.
Yeah, love Batman
Ground
Begins.
is Superman. I love this, and then straight to like the boat. And then boom.
Then we get our first introduction to Henry Cavill.
Yep, Joe the Drifter. I love how this one too, like, shows him still helping out people, even though he's like not wearing a costume. Like he's like
Yeah.
private, but he's like still Superman in a way.
Like, why are you mad?
Where did it find you, Greenhorn? Kind of miss how grounded this film was, like looking at the later DCU movies.
Right. See now, with the tone that Man of Steel has, I have a feeling that David Ayer wanted to do something like this for Suicide Squad, and we didn't get it.
No.
Look
The
at that
cool thing
shot.
is, I love that shot with the fire.
Amazing.
I was also thinking too, like, I guess some of that in universe, besides the regime changes, could it be explained of like, here's how the world was before and after the dawn of the Superman, It's like, how did it change everything? Even though like certain aspects of the universe were already there before Superman arrived, so to speak, but it's fascinating. And then this scene here where he's like, they have to leave and he's like holding everything up together. dude's jacked. Darn, with a medal. So for all the critics out there saying Henry Cavill never saved anyone, you're welcome here for this scene.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that a whole lot of people hate about this movie, or like they criticize like what Superman does, and we're like, I don't think you really saw the movie.
No. Although it would be cool to think that like Aquaman might have been in this scene. You remember people?
Yeah, with the whale.
Yeah. Oh, this little.
I actually thought that when I first saw this, or I actually always say that.
Yeah.
Because it is canon. I mean, in that sense, everybody exists in this world. They're all metahumans.
This was something interesting to see him deal with it at a young age, because we kind of saw this like in Smallville, but he was like older as a teenager, where here he's like a young kid. I love that.
Kind of terrifying when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. Darn, I can't even imagine. Everything all amplified.
I would have really loved to see how Henry Cavill would have portrayed Kingdom Come Superman.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. They still could do it someday. I don't know. We'll have to see.
We got the Homelander shot.
I love this scene with Martha. Listen to my voice.
This was in trailer 2, I think, right? This quote?
Yeah.
Because I remember him launching up. Or I think it was Jarrell that said like the last line before he launches.
What I find kind of cool as in the small kind of town in the USA with Smallville is how like they all probably knew Clark had abilities, but they just kept it a secret, you know. It's like it's kind of like urban legend or whatever, but they just kept it all to themselves without like sharing that this guy's
Look
like,
at that shot.
I love that shot with the whales there. And you get some Chris Cornell here, Seasons.
I was like, I thought it was Aquaman. Hopefully one day I get to meet Snyder and tell him that.
Let's do a special edition.
Look at this shot.
This area reminded me a little bit of, speaking of Aquaman, of when he was saying goodbye to Mara and Volko at the end of the Snyder Cut, and he was getting on the truck. It reminded me of that area.
Insane workout. Huh. Look at that.
Then he got even more bulked up in the later ones. I was like,
yes. I think he was huge in BVS.
Yeah. I like how they do this flashback, how there's something that triggers the flashbacks.
We've never seen like a rugged Superman.
No.
That would have been cool, I think, if he had the beard with the black suit.
Oh, yeah. That would have been easy on the reshoot debacle they did. Instead of trying to CGI it out, they should have just added a beard with his mustache. Would have been an easy fix. This young Clark here reminds me so much of Tom Welling from
Welling.
He was younger. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say that.
There's Pete and Lana here. I love how Pete ends up being kind of like a bully and then is like his friend after that.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I never noticed how much you're in it with the camera wherever it moves, you move with it. I mean, I never noticed that.
Yeah, I know when you go back and rewatch it, and it's just like you're just right there in the action where there's Lana breathing
Right.
underwater, or Clark just like, okay, what do I do now to open this door? I'm gonna have to go out and save everyone. Oh, such a this movie's like with the music and the actions is just like an inspirational and hopeful film.
It really is.
That's also cool seeing somebody like a Superman or Clark this young using his powers like this, like in the early comics. I guess now would be what the Superboy era.
Would it, or maybe just a little bit older?
Well, it depends. A little bit older would be like the TV show, but I'm talking about like the early comics when he like met the Legionnaires from the Legion of Superheroes from like the 31st century.
Gotcha.
I don't know. A lot of this too kind of reminded me of a graphic novel, even though it's kind of more like the Reeves, but like the basis of this reminded me a lot of a storyline called Secret Origins that kind of combined everything at that point. It's kind of similar to this.
Kevin Costner. I thought he was a great Paul Kent.
He was excellent as Jonathan Kent.
And they got Martha.
One thing I loved about this film, and especially like BVS, that I think people have a problem with, is it shows you what would it be like if a Superman existed in our world. But then you could also, as bad as it sounds, you could see Jonathan Kent's concerns. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of his concerns that are paid off in the next film. But this scene right here, as much as people complain about this scene about saving people, there is a line like that from like one of the early comics in the 40s.
Oh, wow.
Like this scene, except he was like in his living room talking to Clark.
How much you want to bet, though, that in the new Superman movie that's going to come out next year, there's going to be a similar line to this, and everybody's going to be okay with it?
Oh yeah, that's always the case.
Yeah.
I
You know
want
what
to
I
see.
think, though? I think that people don't really hate Man of Steel. I think they just hate Snyder.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
this is a great movie, man.
Yeah, and this is true to a lot of the other Superman incarnations from the comics and other TV and media. And I'm curious to see if the new one, if his Jonathan's going to be alive, like in the Lois and Clark show, or if he's going to be like passed away. You know, if there's going to be flashbacks, it's going to be interesting.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Because I know that they casted him, but yeah, whether he dies in this one or he lives, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. I can't wait. The Comic Con poster that came out for this one, the teaser. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's my favorite Superman poster.
I love that with Clark here because it's like maybe you're supposed to let him die. It's like no, like it shows you Clark's moral compass already this early,
Mm-hmm.
like wanting to help people. This scene here with the ship, I loved. This reminded me of the pilot of Smallville here with the ship. But what I love is this scene coming up. There's a line where he's just like, "Can I keep pretending to be your son?" And he's like,
Like,
"You
you are
are
my
my
son.
son."
Yep.
I love that. It's one of my favorite moments in this film. That was a really huge spaceship compared to the other incarnations. Like the other ones were like a little pod, and this was like a giant ship. I'm like that hell to like haul. He had it like a truck.
You kind of question how they got that ship in there.
I know, like, was he like dragging it on chains and stuff or something? I don't know.
Yep.
Unless he knew some of the other farmers, maybe. Maybe he had a friend that helped him out. You're the answer, son. You're the answer to Ari alone in the universe. God, such a good scene.
Yep.
David S. Goyer and Christopher Nolan really did a good job on the story.
They did. Yes, they did. I really can't see Nolan directing Man of Steel.
No, I think that's why he
No?
got Snyder, because he said that like he wanted him after seeing Watchmen,
Oh, I love that.
and that's why he got him. But like, yeah, because like Nolan's, I love what he did, but his stuff is a little bit more grounded. Where even though this is grounded, you still have those kind of comic book, sci-fi, fantasy elements from Superman, and that's what Zack Snyder can do, is make it like mythological and larger than life.
Exactly.
It's funny because I remember when I saw Watchmen, I was like, man, it'd be cool if Snyder did like a Superman or Batman film. When I saw Night Owl, Patrick Wilson, because Dan Dryberg looked like Clark Kent, but then the suit was like reminded me of Batman, and it's crazy they did both. This is cool here with them talking about what they found on the ship here. Sets up the Arctic scene, the military.
That'd be cool considering that we're gonna do the whole DCEU. If we skewed to other DC films and we did Watchmen,
that would be good.
That could be cool.
This guy was a jerk. I love this where he tries to push him and like nothing happens. It's cool seeing the power of restraint when it comes to Superman here with his character, because he could very easily like beat him up and destroy him, but he's just like,
he could just flick his finger and that's it.
Yep. I know, it's funny. Speaking of Smallville, I love this scene coming up because there was a scene in the pilot of Smallville when he got back at one of the, was it Lana's boyfriend, Whitney, and he stacked all the football players' trucks on top of each other. Kind of reminded me of this scene here where he ends up pitting all the wood through the 18-wheeler here. I love this. It just wrecks the guy's truck. He's like, oh, how did that happen? God. This was on the trailer too.
Yes. That was the first teaser. No.
Yeah, it had the Thin Red Line music. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Lois Lane.
To think that they were able to market with the teaser and every single trailer that we had, it intrigued you to see what type of Superman we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Unlike Superman Returns with Brandon Routh, you could tell it was somewhat hokey and it was going to be a tribute in a sense to Donner films.
Yeah. Like, I love the Donner films, but like this one shows you it's like, okay, we're not going to go back to the past. This is going to be something completely different than what we've seen before on film,
Now it feels like we're going back into the past with this next film.
Yeah. That kind of bums me out because I'm like, where were y'all when Brandon Routh was doing that?
Yeah, exactly. I thought he was a great Superman.
Yeah.
That dude is tall in real life too, which is crazy.
I know. I saw some of the they were at Rhode Island Comic-Con and it had like Tyler Hoechlin, Dean Cain.
I was there.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
they're really tall.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet them there, which sucks. I wanted to meet Brandon Routh.
I love Lois Lane's attitude. Like, Amy Adams perfectly portrays Lois here.
I thought she was a good Lois.
Oh, yeah. I thought that, like, when I first saw this, I thought they were going to have her father, General Lane, in here, but they didn't do that angle of the character with her father in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Emil Hamilton, that's Dr. Hamilton from Smallville there, the guy in front. He was in the extended scene in Watchmen when they were talking about Dr. Manhattan being on Mars in the director's cut.
Oh, yeah, he's like, I found him, Mars.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. I didn't know that. Oh, the extended version of Watchmen is the definitive one.
Oh, yeah.
I do enjoy the theatrical, but once you see the extended cut, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, it's like I like the pacing and the theatrical
Yes.
when it gets to the third act, but then I love all the other scenes that were added in, Like, I just have to watch it with those scenes.
I remember telling Patrick Wilson that I loved Watchmen, which is so cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love him in that movie. He was great in that, and then as Ocean Master, King Orm.
Fantastic. Yep. I can't wait to get to Aquaman. I haven't seen that movie in a while.
I think I saw all the films when the Flash came out on video, and it was weird because you could tell when the creative differences and regime changes happened. Like in each wave, it was like 3 different times, and I'm like, these films, I never realized how drastically different they were until I watched them like straight through, and I'm like, oh man, you could tell where the quality starts to dip down, and when changes started to happen, you know?
But it's incredible how, if you think about it, the trilogy of Snyder is so consistent.
Yeah,
Unlike the whole universe itself, yeah, it just spins around all over. I love that. Look at that.
that's great with the eyes. I don't know, it's just crazy though. I have to like you wonder what could have been, but at the same time, like it was cool seeing certain characters in live action for the first time, you know? Like you
Yeah.
never who would have thought we would have had a Justice League film in this? Like I remember thinking, yeah, we might have a Superman series, but who thought we were gonna have Batman versus Superman or a Justice League or a Wonder Woman film when this came out? Like I didn't think there was gonna be a whole DC universe when I first saw this. So I thought maybe there'll be 2 or 3 Superman movies out of this. It's crazy to see how far we've come in a way.
Yeah. See, I'm in a sense against the Batman versus Superman. Why
Yeah.
not do World's Finest?
I still wish they did one more movie that was World's Finest with Affleck and
Yeah.
Cavill teaming up. That would have been so
Yeah.
cool. I always wanted to see a shot. It's never been done on film. I always wanted to see a shot that has the Batwing flying with Superman flying next to it and like them heading into battle.
Cool.
That would have been
Cool.
kind of cool. Yeah, this computer here. Speaking of consistency, it's kind of crazy that the abandoned pod there was still there when they're in the ship in Justice League.
Oh, really? What's crazy too, I mean, just looking at this scene alone, it's incredible how nobody knew who Henry Cavill was.
Yeah. Like I know people were fans of him and heard him on the Tudors, and I saw him when he was really young. He was on the Count of Monte Cristo like in 2001, but like I didn't see him in anything really till this movie. Because
You oh,
this movie,
you never seen Immortals?
not when before this. No,
Oh, okay. It's a good movie.
it is. Like I saw Immortals after this, and then what was in 2012? No, 2014 or 15. Man from Uncle.
I saw I think it went straight to Blu-ray. He did a film with Bruce Willis called mm, damn, I forgot the name. But he did a movie with him. It wasn't bad. It was all right.
I'll look it up. I would say it might be The Prince, but that might have been the one with Jason
No,
Patrick.
something.
I'll
It's not
look it
called
up. I'll
Brightest
look it up.
Night.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Something cold. This pod was supposed to be Kara, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's when I was talking about. Like that pod's
Yeah.
still empty in the Justice League one, but yeah, they said it was Kara. You could do
I
a
thought
cool little thing and say it's John Jones and Martian Manhunter.
that would be cool. I thought Sasha Kaye did a great job as Supergirl.
Yeah, I wish she got like something of her own, or I wish they kept the scene where Henry Cavill and her met. Like, just do that. Let's see. I'm trying to find a Bruce Willis movie. Oh, is it The Cold Light of Day?
That's the one.
Yeah,
It's on Netflix.
Sigourney Weaver and Bruce Willis. That's pretty good.
Uh-huh. Yep.
I have to
It's
check
not
it out.
bad. It's a young Cavill.
Ow, that whip looked like it hurt with Lois Lane here, and then he's gonna cauterize a wound with heat vision. Doesn't it hurt? Can you imagine that telling to their kid that Lois had in Justice League? How'd you first met? Oh, I just laser vision your mom's wound in the ship. Ow. This is a crazy track here with the seismic activity, the ship launching. So a lot of crazy cool visuals in this film.
Yeah. I'm telling you, just from the filmmaking aspect, it's just impressive with the single cam that Snyder's using. I
Yeah.
know he didn't DP it though.
No, that was what's his name? I'll look
Wasn't
it up.
that Larry Fong
I
or
think so.
Larry Wong?
I'll look. I'll look. It's funny because later on, this film reminds me of like Independence Day if it was with Superman, and it turns out the editor of Independence Day edited this in Justice League.
Oh wow, okay. It does have
It's
that
sad.
feel.
It's crazy though, because like I think he passed away like right after the Snyder Cut came out, and I was like bummed about that. I was like,
Oh,
man, but at least he got the movie got to come out before, you know.
yeah.
Let me look. A cinematographer. This one was done by Amir Mockery. Okay.
Huh. Okay.
So the other guy might have done BVS, and let me look.
Well, because I know he did Watchmen.
Yeah. Well, unless he had a cinematographer and then there was like a director of photography. Maybe it was a director of photography. Let me look. Sometimes it's the same, but sometimes they have like someone else. Let me look. Okay, where is it? Oh, come on. Cast and crew.
Lawrence Fishburne as well as Perry White. I thought it was great.
Oh, Lawrence Fishburne was awesome as Perry White. I loved him in this.
I think everyone was casted perfectly, and especially for the type of film that Snyder did,
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I'm telling you, I want to see this new Superman. As much as I'm not, as much as I'm against it, it is Superman, and I want to see it. It's a polar bear.
I think they said they got that from like a documentary from like National Geographic and then superimposed it there on the polar bear. They got like archive footage.
Oh no, that's cool.
And Jarrell here, the AI of Jarrell.
Holy Mark. I love how he says that because you could actually feel his pain.
Mm-hmm. I love the graphics here with like the history of Krypton. Before they had interference, the sci-fi show Krypton was actually supposed to be a straight up prequel to this show. I mean, to this film.
The show?
Yeah,
Oh wow. Did you see it? Was it good?
I love the first season, and then the second was there, and then they canned it like kind of like a cliffhanger, so it didn't really get resolved.
How was Doomsday?
Doomsday was pretty cool, but the real standout was Brainiac. Brainiac,
Oh, Brainiac's in the show?
yeah,
Oh, that's
and he looks
awesome.
like Injustice Brainiac, where he has like the green and like everything. He looks pretty good for TV budget.
I'm gonna check it out. Definitely gonna check it
Yeah,
out.
the whole thing was like Brainiac traveled through time, and like they want to prevent Superman from being born by killing Jor-El's father, Superman's grandfather. So it actually has like Jor-El's father when he's like really young.
Oh shit.
So like they mentioned what Superman's gonna be like and everything what's gonna happen to Krypton. So it's like he has to stay alive basically. It's kind of cool. I was like, that's an interesting twist.
How many villains are there? Like from the Rogues Gallery?
You have Doomsday, you have Brainiac, a couple of others. Zod. It has like the Zod lineage, but they're not exactly evil at first. And
Oh, okay.
then what else? Lobo is in it. Lobo's pretty cool.
Lobo.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
pretty cool. It actually looks like Lobo. I was like surprised. Explorers. I love how like the baby ship here has like the look of like the Donner spaceship from the '78 Superman, just a little bit.
Yes. And the star right here too.
Yep.
I love how everything you need to know about where Superman came from and how he's learning is just in this scene, and that's it.
Yeah.
I love how he just accepts it as well. And he's like, "Yeah, okay, cool, I get it."
I love that because like we're the audience has like Clark's perspective right now, where it's like we're learning the same time as Clark is learning, about who he is.
Right. You got a cousin here.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, we didn't mention that. I love this here with the suit reveal coming up. The
Dun,
music.
dun, dun, dun.
Oh man.
What I love about this movie too, you could tell that there's so much love in this movie. Attention to detail, the acting, the score, everything just fits perfectly. I could say this is a feel-good movie in a sense, even though it is very in a like a despair world, so to say. I think this version of Superman, it does bring you hope.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, this scene right here is just like this is Superman. Like Henry Cavill looks like an Alex Ross painting come to life.
that is true. I agree.
And
Look at that,
despite the
man.
cape being CG, it still looks beautiful there. Like
Oh, it's fantastic. At least for the close-ups, I mean, kind of like what they did in BVS as well. At least he does wear a cape at points,
yeah.
but they want that floaty cape. I was like, I love that.
Remember
Look at
like
the boots.
Kevin Smith once talked about like Zack Snyder, like the way he films comic book movies are almost like splash pages, and you could definitely see that here with like Superman in the
Yeah,
background of the Arctic.
look at this. Look at this.
He's gonna leap in a single bound before flying. God, could you imagine what that must have been like? Like if he could really do that, if he had the powers of Superman and just like I love that like he's discovering the limits.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yep. Kids, that's this image right here with the film. He's smiling. Yep.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
You didn't frame it?
No, I should have. Somebody told me in film school that it would fade away the film, but looking back on it, I'm like, they're full of shit.
Look, this is one of my favorite sequences of all time.
Yeah. What does it is not only the music and Jarrell's narration, but like when the ground starts like moving on the snow and everything around him, like he's building it up. I don't think you need another Americanized version of it, but if they ever did want to do another live action Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z film, they should get Zack Snyder after seeing this movie.
That'd be crazy. That line with "They will join you in the sun." That's the ending of Zack Snyder's Justice League, where everybody's just looking out. Oh,
yep, I love that. There's so much
look at
that just ties together nicely. Oh man, that's just awesome.
Dude, seeing this in IMAX for the first time, I cried. I teared so much. I was like, wow. It's just so inspiring. I was like, wow, so that's why I'm into like the film. I'm into filmmaking and everything.
Films like these are important, not only because they're hopeful and inspirational, but like to storytellers and filmmakers, there might be times when you feel down. And this is one of the films that has that movie magic that reminds you like why you're doing what you're doing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just like zooms in. I love this shot right here. And this is my favorite part right here. And he flies up. Look at that shot.
Love that. This shot here, great homage to the Christopher Reeve endings here with the round.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn, that's awesome. And I also love Lois Lane here, how she like figures it all out on her own before he's even like Superman in a way, as far as like before the suit, you know, like she goes and investigates all the stories and urban legends. I mean, that's one cool thing. Like, I love the glasses and the disguise, but it makes Lois look like a moron. Where like this Lois like, figures it all out before all that happens, and that's kind of cool. IHOP. Yeah, there's so much endorsement in this film between Sears and IHOP in Smallville. I love it.
And 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven.
Yep, 7-Eleven as well. Heh, Pete. Diane Lane. She was so good as Martha Kent.
I agree.
Man, this graveyard is kind of sombering looking at now, knowing the events of BVS and Justice League. But I love this backstory here.
Oh, it was the same graveyard from BVS?
Yeah, he got buried next to his father. Clark did. In BVS.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, yeah, Superman's body was buried somewhere else, but they had Clark, the actual body, on the graveyard in Smallville. It was like winter, that's why it was like all like overcast and stuff.
Oh, I can't wait to rewatch it then.
Yeah, because then when Martha sells the house, she's looking at the graves there with Jonathan and Clark before she leaves with the U-Haul.
I still don't agree with a choice that they did in BVS, and that's at the end. But we'll get to it. But I'm still not. I was like, really? In the second movie?
This scene's good, but I kind of call bullshit on him not saving his father, even if people weren't ready on the tornado. But I can see why. Like, I can see why they did it that way.
But I agree with the scene.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, in that sense of if we're putting a realistic Superman, it's more so of wait a minute. If I use my supersonic speed right now, people are gonna know. They're gonna notice something.
But I think it was
I don't
also
know.
like too like for the scene I can see like Clark, like his father protecting Clark, because if you look at how he was treated in BVS, which was sometime later, it's even more reason why Jonathan was like, no, they're not ready yet. You know, that's what I love about it. The only thing I kind of missed on the heart attack, and it wasn't bad or anything, is just that it shows you that there are some people that Clark can't save, and there's some things that Superman can't stop, you know, that are out of his
Yeah.
control. That's the only thing I liked about that. But this is such a tragic scene because, like, he's saving people here, and the dog. Like, I feel, I think what made it bad too is that you saw how Clark was acting towards his father before all this happened in that car.
Right. And it sucks that now he has to have a sense of regret.
Yeah.
But it's crazy too because you can even tell that Cavill's young here. He looks it too.
I know, it's nuts. Even
Yeah,
down
we're
to
so
like how he was speaking too.
yeah. Yes, because it's crazy to think that, for example, if your first introduction was Zack Snyder's Justice League, or even so, seeing the post credits of Black Adam, okay, you're already used to that. But you're like, nope, this is Cavill. Look at
Oh
this.
man.
Must be horrifying.
But then you could see like not only with Jarrell and how he was, but then also Jonathan saving people. You could see how both his fathers shaped who he was, you know, or who he
Yeah.
is, you know, as Superman. God. It's just brutal here. The scene here where he just tells him to wait. Because he's going. It's not like he chose not to. It's just his father's like, no, not yet.
Dun, dun. It just gets quiet.
Damn. My father. I let my father die because I trusted him. Because he was convinced that I had to wait. That the
The
world
world
wasn't
wasn't
ready.
ready. Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you
it
think?
was not.
That was the teaser, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I love Lawrence Fishburne. Whatever your reason is for dropping this, Lombard. That guy was Doug on House of Cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
on
haven't seen it.
Netflix.
Was House of Cards good?
It was, and then it kind of got a little crazy near the end and behind the scenes troubles, but it started out good.
He's gonna be in the Penguin.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, that looks good.
I can't wait. No pay. You crazy.
Let's make it 3 weeks since you're so willing to agree. Yep.
That's a great question.
Oh, we're gonna see that in full effect in BVS of how they're gonna
Yeah.
make it to a Superman.
But they could have
Cosmos.
done it also with a world's finest.
Oh yeah.
You know, did you ever get to see? I mean, this would be cool doing it on the BBS commentary, but they did a trailer, a fan made trailer of World's Finest.
I don't know if I saw the specific one with Ben Affleck. I saw one a long time ago that had Christian Bale and Brendan Ralph, but I don't think I saw one with Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck yet.
No, no, it wasn't that. It was like an actual kind of like Alex Ross inspired one.
Oh, a long time ago, yeah, I think I did. They had like
'Cause-
the I think I did see it. It had like Lex and stuff a long time
Yes,
ago. Yeah.
and at the
That
end,
made
Two
it
Face shows up.
yeah. I did see that.
See, something like that, I would have loved that.
I love when he arrived at his house that we saw a LexCorp truck there in the background.
Yes,
Luthor
it just
Corp.
establishes a bigger world without kind of showing you it. So to say, you have to find it.
Yeah. He had to adapt to Earth's atmosphere when he was a
Yeah.
baby.
This film should have been more successful.
I thought it was pretty successful for what it was, but yeah.
But it could have been more. I mean, because look at the trajectory of BVS on how that went.
BVS,
Easily, that could have been $1 billion.
but it still made 800 something million with 30 minutes of the film cut, and it was a March release on Easter instead of summer. So, like,
What,
all things
BVS?
considered, yeah,
Oh,
it was
BVS.
a March release, and they cut out 30 minutes of the film. Where if I believe if they had the Ultimate Edition, which is actually what the film should have been, they definitely would have done it.
Look at that. You got Martian Manhunter.
That's actually cool rewatching this now. And then the woman there with him is Carol Ferris, who stars
Yes.
Sapphire, Green Lantern's girlfriend. Yeah. And Dr. Hamilton. But yeah, like rewatching this now, knowing that he's Martian Manhunter, kind of like really makes this a unique movie now. Especially
for some
like,
reason.
you can go.
No. I was gonna say for some reason I had a suspicion the first time I saw it. I said he has to be somebody, and I would have been okay if he was Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, because like even here when he's like looking at the ship, knowing it's alien, it's like, yeah, because he's an alien himself.
Exactly. I got to see this actor as well in person.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he looked like a awesome dude. It's just that I didn't have time to chat because I was just going here and there. I wanted him to get to sign at least either Man of Steel or the Justice League.
That's cool because him and Lawrence Fishburne were also in the Matrix trilogy with Reloaded and Revolutions.
That's right. He was a captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Look, everyone, Superman drinks Budweiser. He drinks a beer. Yeah. Alcohol doesn't affect him if you know the comics, so he's technically not doing anything wrong. It can't affect him. Now, magic and kryptonite, on the other hand, they affect him.
It doesn't. Breaking news.
Oh, man.
I love how he uses his
little vision and then it just zooms in. From the lights.
Some minor details. I love that.
Yeah, right now is where it becomes like an alien invasion movie. I love this.
You are not alone. Trailer 3, or I think it's the trailer 4. But when Zod makes his announcement, it feels so much like a horror movie.
Yeah. And then with a static, and then he starts going in all the different languages around the world, and everybody's hearing it. You are not alone.
I would love to meet Michael Shannon.
Oh, he's such a great actor. I recently saw Bike Riders. He had a small role.
Ooh, what you think? I saw it too.
I liked it for what it was. It wasn't anything like crazy. Like, I thought it was gonna be like a little bit bigger of like a crime bike riding movie, more like from the trailer, but I liked it for what it was.
You know what it reminded me of? And I think the movie is very, very mediocre. And I think it's a how do you say? It's a mix between Goodfellas and The Bronx Tale. And I'm like, I wanted a little bit more because it feels like a prequel to what the crime with the bike riders and all is. I'm like, oh, okay. It felt very lackluster, unfortunately, but the performances were great. Michael Shannon's in it too.
Yeah, he worked with the director on Midnight Special, which also had to do with aliens. Michael Shannon's such a good actor. I first saw him. He actually was in a lot of movies with like Bad Boys 2 and stuff, and was it Reservation Road?
He was in Bad Boys 2?
Yeah, he was the KKK guy that they had in the trunk later in the movie.
I gotta rewatch it.
Yeah, he's in the beginning, and then he's in the middle of the movie when they have him and they take him and he's like put into the trunk of the car. That's Michael Shannon.
Oh shit! All right, I'm gonna go rewatch it.
Yeah, rewatch it. He's in it, but I saw him as Van Alden in Boardwalk Empire.
I heard that was a good show.
Yeah, that was such a good show. He was, but it was so crazy seeing him as Zod here. He has such a presence.
He does. Yes, he does.
Kal-El, I say this. Surrender within 24 hours.
And to think that he had a lot to go up against Terrence Howard.
Terrence Stamp, yep.
Yeah. Oh, it's Terrence Stamp, that's right.
Next time, baby. No, Terrence Howard's War Machine.
Oh, he is. That's right. I got confused. There you go.
It's crazy because Terrence Stamp was also the voice of Jor-El on Smallville. It's kind of crazy how some of these actors like cross over different Superman mediums with TV, film, and animation. This guy. I know. Lois Lane knows who this guy is. That's something her father, General Lane, could have helped her with if they followed the comics in that regard. Or maybe not. He'd be like, tell me who this guy is right now.
Yeah.
That's what I thought the Law and Order guy was going to be, as a Christopher Maloney.
That was a nice surprise that he was in it.
I know. That was so cool. I like the stuff later on in the film with him and Fiora. A good death is its own reward.
I love how in the Snyder world, in a sense, with the trilogy, that Patrick Wilson is the president.
Yeah. What I love about each one is how you get to see the ending events through different perspectives.
Yes.
So like the Black Zero event, you get to see it through Bruce Wayne's perspective, and then you just get to see the death of Superman again. Oh man, I love this here with like a leap of faith. It's like The trust part comes later.
It does go throughout all the movies with that.
Yeah. Then there's a whole Christ metaphor thing too. Sullivans. That's like Chloe Sullivan in Smallville.
Give me 1 second. Let's see. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, once I saw Jonathan there, it's like, nah, we're not going to mess with him.
Let's go. I got it. Thank you very much. Alrighty. Excellent. Fantastic. There you go.
Then Pete's helping him out now. He's his friend. Man, he was ready to just... I love how the flashbacks with Jonathan also help to like show you like the lessons he learned and what type of man he has to be as Superman.
Yeah.
It's like love him or hate him, good or bad. That's one thing I have to say about all the DCEU movies is you get some emotional scenes with like the parents, like serious in a lot of the films. Oh,
Yeah, that's true. I think though for the main four though, Superman, Batman, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman. Oh, and Flash as well. But by then it already went, downhill. I think there's just a couple of bad movies in the DCEU.
yeah, that's one where like I think what hurt them is that they had an initial slate and they just diverted from that after Justice League, like the theatrical Justice League. And even though like I've enjoyed some of the films, like they should have stuck to their plan that they originally had.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's a crazy shot there. The Christ metaphor and then the red robe being a red cape. I love the scene coming up after the trust part where he just like shows up and the military's there and he's like hovering above them.
That's a classic Superman thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some new photos released from the new Superman, and it's the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, the shot.
Dum, dum. Dum, dum. Don't play games with me, General. I'll surrender.
But only if you guarantee Lois's freedom. This is one of the posters too.
Yep. That's right.
There's a difference.
Would it be? Surrender purposes.
And it makes him feel more secure.
I think Cavill has a nice charisma to him in this movie. It's very subtle.
It's an S. No, it's Hope. Well, here it's an S. That reminds me of that Pete Holmes Batman Superman video. Super. I love this scene here. It's a cool parallel because he's talking to Hamilton, and then when he talks to Swanwick, who's really Martian Manhunter, the, like, I guess, camera shot is very similar to later in Justice League when Martian Manhunter talks to Bruce Wayne at the end. It's almost a similar setup.
Mm-hmm. We are also going to do Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah. I think we'll split it into two parts. We'll just do it like right before Superman, and then after.
Mhm. Mhm.
You never will.
But that doesn't mean I'm your enemy. Who is Zod?
That's what I'm afraid of. Or that's what I'm worried about. Yeah. Be that as it may, I've been given orders to hand you over to him.
Do what you gotta do.
Yep.
Man, I memorized this movie. I love it.
I love this shot here. This was very similar to Silk Spectre and Night Owl in that dream sequence in Watchmen.
Yes, yes. They did that in BVS, no? A shot like that with Bruce Wayne?
I was trying to remember. They might have. I have to look.
Or no, I think it was him with the man bat dream because I remember him waking up.
Oh, yeah. I love this shot here when the ship arrives. To me, this feels like something off of Star Wars. I don't know why. Like the sci-fi vibe, but like this shot here.
Go.
Maybe it's like the desert area too. It's like it reminds me of that shot of Phantom Menace with Darth Maul.
Ah, yeah. I enjoy Phantom Menace for what it is.
Oh yeah, but like this shot, I don't know, something about it just has like the sci-fi vibe here with the ship. I just love it with the cape when it like zooms in.
It's crazy to think as from when this movie came out, this is the most action-packed Superman movie.
Yeah.
And yet people still complained because in Brandon Routs, we got the all sad and stalkerish Superman and no action. And then we get the full chaos. And then people
the fans don't know what they want. I was like,
look at that. Dun, dun, dun.
Feora is so good in this film.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go get some water.
That's fine. Kal-El. Sub-Commander Feora Ul, on behalf of General Zod. Oh man, I love this movie, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, we're on the scene where they're about to get Lois Lane to go with them on the ship to Zod. General Zod would like this woman to accompany me. That's where we are right now. He didn't say anything about one of our own. Personally, I love all the Superman movies. They all kind of embody different elements of the comics throughout the years. But this one's just definitely in my top 5. Definitely top 3. It's like I have the Richard Donner. It's like Superman the movie, Richard Donner cut of Superman 2, and this, definitely. And then probably be BVS and Justice League, and then Returns for me. But I love this movie. For Superman, at least. DCEU, Snyder cut, probably my favorite, but this is like right under it. About to get to the Zod meeting. So right now they're putting the rebreather on. It's pretty good.
I remember seeing this image on a magazine. I was like, yo, what are we in for?
I know. They really marketed this movie very well. Like there was a lot of like photo ops and stuff with like the different magazines like Empire and Vanity Fair and stuff. Such a cool shot there.
See, this is such a classic Superman thing. Take a year's
also off. A little bit of a side note. Around this time, I was playing Injustice: Gods Among Us, and they had a DLC where you could play as Henry Cavill's Superman suit and then play General Zod with like Michael Shannon's armored outfit.
No way.
Yeah. So you could play as them. And anyway, on Zod, it had like that background there on Zod's.
Oh, that's awesome. Wait, was this Injustice 1 or 2?
Injustice 1.
Okay, okay, got you. I was like, I only played the second one. Okay, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
first one's pretty cool. Then there's like extra armor. They have like the Arkham suit for Batman, and then like the Green Arrow suit from CW, like season one's outfit. Oh man, when he's coughing up blood, that's something I haven't seen before as Superman with him getting adjusted to the Kryptonian environment.
I think that was such an awesome thing that they did.
Here we get started with dream sequences here. I love this. This is also the first time in this moment where we get to see a hint of the black suits here.
Yes. He was a scientist.
He could have made an agreement to be like, hey, you can live among humans. Let's try to coexist. But honestly, Zod seemed like the type of person that was never going to
He
surrender
doesn't
or have any
negotiate.
compromise. No.
Yeah.
It's crazy seeing everything from their perspective here.
Yeah.
It's also a different haircut for Zod because I'm like, he could have pulled off the Terrence Stamp look if he saw the movie The Iceman where he played a hitman.
I
Like
want
the
to
hair
see that
combed
one.
back. Yeah, he has his hair combed back and a beard. I'm like, he could have pulled off the Zod. He could have pulled it off. But it's a
I
cool
like
new
this
look.
look.
Yeah. These little astronaut suits kind of remind me a little bit of the animated series when Superman used to have like a space suit. Oh man, look at that. All the remains of the previous Kryptonians. Seeing the sci-fi element of this world, it pains me that we didn't get to see fully explored a Green Lantern Corps in this universe.
Yes. Uh huh. That's the stunt double, right, for Ben Affleck or the
Yeah,
fight choreographer? Yeah.
yeah. I love this shot here with the skulls. Oh man, the music. I hope everybody's enjoying the commentary right now. You know, if y'all want to check a really cool commentary, they have it up on the Vero channel on YouTube. Zack Snyder did a watch party commentary for this film the day the Snyder Cut was announced on May 20th of 2020. So definitely check that out if y'all haven't got a chance. I love this
What a
shot here though.
time.
I know. This shot here is like something straight from a comic book panel, but oh man. The skulls and everything, and him in the black suit. Gosh, that sound effect is so good. Where is the Codex? If Krypton lives again,
What happens there?
what happens to Earth? The foundation has to be built on something. Gosh, they see all those skulls. Damn. Gives me some Terminator vibes there a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This really is a beautiful looking film. I haven't seen this in a while, but it's like.
You
Yes, you can see how much it haunts him, but then it's like he would do it in a
But
heartbeat.
it's such a cold expression, though.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
badass. I'll do it again. Duty to my people. I don't allow anyone to prevent me from carrying it out. I love that shit, man. Man, what a fantastic Zod.
I think that also enhances Henry Cavill because a hero is only as great as his villain, and you have a
Yeah.
really good villain with Zod here. Trident. Yeah, that actor was also in Smallville, the blonde guy that was a soldier. He played Dan Turpin before he was like the chief. He was like
Hmm.
a rookie cop in Smallville. Ends up being in the Superman comics.
See, look at this. This dude right here. There was so much
Yeah.
speculation, and I thought he was gonna be Luthor.
You know what's funny? He played a clone of Lex Luthor in Smallville. That
Oh,
actor,
really?
really, in season
Oh,
10, he
crap.
was a clone. Yeah.
Isn't she?
She is in
A
Army of the Dead and oh, what's her name?
oh, no shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew her name. I forgot. Okay, I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Oh, that's pretty cool that he put her in Man of Steel.
Yeah, she was the actress with the bandana in Army of
Yes,
the Dead.
yes. I love Army of the Dead. That'd be cool if we did something like that for like Halloween and stuff.
Oh, we could go over the zombie movie. Yeah.
That's all. Oh, and he did Dawn of the Dead. That's right.
Yep. We could have a double feature. Huh. Let's
Imagine.
see. Well, I don't know. One Justice League would almost be like two movies.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cause her name. Yes, that's her name. Samantha Wen is the actress there
Okay.
that plays a Kryptonian. She was in Army of the Dead. She's in a lot of the films. Yeah.
Very nice. I like how Snyder always puts the same people.
Yeah. This is cool how like the AI of Jor-El ends up helping Lois out of this ship. This is such a cool
Yeah.
moment. Strange. I don't know if it's because it's Kryptonians in a small town, but like the part coming up with the Battle of Smallville gave me some real theatrical, like Superman 2 vibes.
Yeah, the ending
Yeah.
of Superman 2. Yeah. Put this light on.
I love this look. This guy knows he's screwed. He just gets out of the handcuffs and just starts running away. Superman just gives him that look.
Right, shit.
Did all that talk and is like about to run away now. It's like, yeah, you're in my terms now. UV. I hop. That's another cool thing. Not to keep talking about the TV show Smallville, but the font of the water tower is the font of the TV show Smallville.
I just saw that little Easter egg too.
Yeah.
See, that's what I don't like. They could have easily fired already. They just waited. I'm like, what are you waiting
Yeah.
for?
All the different Jarrells.
You could have tell that was a little CGI, that Jarrell right there.
I know some of it's kind of starting to age a bit now. I didn't catch that at first, but now it's like, oh. Oh, man. Oh, man. Such an awesome shot there.
Man, he didn't even need to use any force. He was just like.
You can save her cow. You can save all of them. I love this moment here. And then, like, yep.
Save all of them.
This is kind of like the Christ-like pose getting out, but then I love the turn. That scene where he starts turning over before he flies off right here. Like, right here, that shot. Oh. I kind of wonder how some of the behind the scenes were now. And Amy, just start screaming like you're in a pod that's going down the Earth's atmosphere, okay? Oh man. This scene where they're trying to find the ship. It's a nice shot with them slowly flying down or floating down.
I love how the length of the cape is.
Yeah, it's a long cape.
Man, Cavill looks young in this.
His hair is a little bit longer too than it was in BVS.
Yes. Yeah, because in BVS it was more gelled up.
Mm-hmm.
Or slick back, I should say. And he wasn't as bulky.
The craft you arrived in. Where is it? Go to hell, Martha. I would have loved to see Wonder Woman and Fiora fight, or even like Supergirl and Fiora fight, as a missed opportunity, I thought, later down the road.
What's crazy enough, though, I think this actress was in the run for being Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She looks like a Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it.
Man, scene here with the truck. The Codex is not here. Damn. This scene, I was just like, whoa, I've never seen Superman like this. Like, you think?
So angry.
He's like, you think you could threaten my mother? It's funny because, like, even though there's a lot of destruction, I don't think people are used to seeing that in live action. But to me, it was like what I saw in the cartoons and comics, but like in real life. Like, that's what's
Right.
all the fighting here. Oh man, that's a cool shot there. Yep, here's her 7-Eleven little moment. Yep, that is 7-Eleven.
I love this.
Oh yeah, and the Superman's attitude here. He's hearing everything. What have you done to me? My parents taught me to hone my senses, Zod. Focus. On just what I wanted to see. Without your helmet, you're getting everything. And it hurts, doesn't it? I love that. Oh, man. This ship just shot him. I forgot about that.
I love for a few seconds that Zod has a weakness in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell he's pissed.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Battle of Smallville, and I love both battles. I just love this film period, but oh man.
I love that they're practical.
Yeah.
This.
And Nom and Fiora. Nom's always a big guy no matter what incarnation it is. It's like, everybody get in.
See, he is helping people. Look at that. Get inside.
Yep. Can you imagine? It's like, is that Clark dressed up in a cape? I'm kidding. Everybody in Smallville.
I would have loved a cameo from Snyder, at least in this.
Yeah, because he had one in Justice League at the coffee shop at the beginning.
Yeah. He didn't have one in BVS, right?
I don't think so. I might have missed it if he did. Because I know, like, Peter Jackson has a cameo in, like, all the Lord of the Rings and parts.
He does, yes.
This is crazy here how they're shooting the bullets and then it like lands on his head here. You get to see it hit Superman's head. Oh, not in this part, but coming up later. Like it hits his head. Oh, this shot here.
Little Hulk action.
Yep. They also repeated that shot in the Flash movie with Nom, but it was on the Batwing instead of the jet. Oh, this shot here. Fiora. Oh. This fight's so good in the IHOP here. You never saw Superman fight like this in live action.
Right.
For this film. Like, it was just like, whoa.
He's like, do I know him?
Yeah. You're weak, son of L. Unsure of yourself.
Look at that. He did a little Jarrell.
Yep. The fact that you possess a sense of morality and we do not gives us an evolutionary advantage. If history has proven anything. Then we get the vault shot. That was the first production photo shot we saw there with the vault.
And imagine that. The first image. Epic. And then we get with the new Superman just putting on a boot.
Evolution always wins. Damn. The speed of the fights, too.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, like Superman Returns didn't have much fighting, and before that, we didn't have a Superman movie since like the 80s. So like technology progressed a lot since the other Superman films. So now we're able to get stuff that's like the damn cartoons or comics come to life. It's just amazing.
Now the only tricky thing is telling a good story.
Yeah.
Sears.
Yep. They're not around anymore, kids, but I guess it's kind of like the DCEU, sadly.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, he's taking on two of them. I love when he uses his heat vision here.
Yes.
See, he's trying to fly away.
Wow. I love this.
Damn, burned her hand. Damn. Yeah, this scene here is what I was talking about. I thought it was earlier when he's going to hit in the head with a bullet here. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Then we have U-Haul. More product placement. Another person he saves.
That's all.
Ooh. Oh, man. This fight here is just nuts. Fiora just going super speed on everybody.
I love that shit. That shit.
Like I said, it's like a Superman cartoon or comic come to life. It's just,
that's true.
Oh. Good sound design too on the firearms here.
Yes. CGI is great in this.
Mm-hmm. So we get that line, a good death is its own reward. Oh, Superman.
Third person he saves.
Yep.
You'll not win. For every human you save, we'll kill a million more.
It's cool because I remember seeing a TV spot, but it's before they put the shield CGI, so you saw the actress's face without the shield. It's kind of cool seeing her say that in the TV spot.
He
Here's a
throws a train.
It's like, guys, you can blame Superman, but the military did most of the damage there in Smallville.
Yeah.
Man. You get this shot here coming up with a boot and cape.
I think the muted colors really suits Cavill.
Oh, yeah. And it's a darker blue. I mean, it's more like I mean, the animated series was kind of a little bit bright, but it kind of reminded me more, even though they're a bit more vibrant. It reminded me of like Dean Cain's outfit in the '90s, with like a darker blue instead of like that like kind of navy sky blue.
Right.
Also, this is like the first time we didn't have the red trunks, and you don't really notice it that much. At least I never.
You don't miss it.
No, it's like it still has the S, it still has a cape. Guy's still acting like Superman. It's Superman. That and the new 52 came out like right before this, and they switched it to the yellow to the red belt with no trunks in the comics.
wow.
So,
Oh, and he also doesn't have the symbol on his cape.
no,
Yeah, for this specific Superman, fantastic. But you can't.
I'm not so sure anymore. Yeah, and then Lois in front of the police just says, "Clark, Clark."
Yeah.
I don't know. To be fair, the local police probably already know if they're like in a small town. They were there before.
Yeah, considering the house that he's into.
Yeah.
DNA of a billion people.
That's nuts.
No.
I love this. Arcade.
Bring out
by
the
Hanzo.
World Angel.
Release the World Engine. Yep. I love this.
Dun.
I was kind of like wondering, like I remember I had a theory that like the World Engine might have been tied somewhat to Brainiac just based on like how it like moved.
The looks.
Yeah, I kind of
When he has the tentacles?
yeah. It kind of reminded me of something like Brainiac.
I would have been very intrigued to see Snyder's Brainiac.
Oh yeah.
But mostly, I would have loved to see Bizarro.
Oh yeah.
but like the monsterish one. I think that would be really cool.
Indian Ocean there. Doesn't it play a bigger part later on with the kryptonite?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the people complaining that Superman destroyed an entire city, let's get this straight. That was the Zod in them and the World Engine, and Superman was all the way in the Indian Ocean away from Metropolis trying to stop that. Then he showed up. It's so cool watching this, knowing the beginning of BVS. Somebody did an edit that like in real time had the Man of Steel ending with the BVS beginning and like matched it up timeline wise.
Oh,
So they did a split screen and they matched all the actions up with Bruce Wayne's POV and then what happened in this movie, and it was like
oh, that's awesome.
parallel. I was like, whoa.
It's crazy to think though too. If they play their cards right, they could have integrated the Flash.
I know, because that was one
Yeah.
cool thing I did like in that movie is that he was trying to save that kid or whatever. And
And he failed.
yep. Man, this straight up reminded me of Independence Day.
I recently saw that movie for the first time.
It's a good 90s flick. I love it.
Oh,
Of course,
that
I saw it
ship
back when it
looks
came out. Oh,
that
man.
ship looks like an insect.
Yeah. The water there's terraforming. Damn, that's scary. Thinking about like maybe it was city destruction, but something about this had like some 9/11 imagery to me.
Mm.
I think that's another thing besides like an alien invasion of like how it kind of makes it feel like a 21st century Superman compared to a 20th century Superman. Oh man. According to this, there won't be an Earth. It's funny with like this isolated trilogy, it begins and ends with like some alien force or some force trying to basically like terraform the Earth into something else.
Yep.
In this and then like the mother boxes.
That would have been cool if Zod was beside Darkseid, like this version.
Shoot. Like if they were off in the Phantom Zone or went somewhere and then Darkseid found them. Oh,
Superman.
Superman, that's what they call him.
Yeah, that would be insane. There's a plan.
The ship is powered by something called a Phantom Drive, a bin space. Zod's ship uses the same technology, and if we can make the two drives collide, a singularity can be created. Yep.
£17,000. Jeez.
I love this. It's like you might want to move back a little bit more when he flies.
Maybe a little bit more. Maybe. Can't stop me from trying.
God, the music here. I love the terraforming track on the soundtrack here. Gosh.
This is the first official look in the teaser that we got.
Yeah.
Man. Didn't we get this teaser when Dark Knight Rises came out?
Yep. It was.
I remember.
Oh, man, you can actually see people like screaming in midair during that shot there.
Yep.
Gravity filled. Yeah, those are
awesome.
the times. Oh, I love this shot here. There's the jets, but I love this shot here where Superman's flying against the sun there with the red cape flowing. Oh, man. The music. This has such a good, not only story, but like it has such an epic feeling for 11 years later, and it balances some
Yes.
funny moments too without making it into a complete farce. It's just a perfect tone here.
Yes. Very consistent.
Like how he does that with his eyes, like he's still adjusting to the atmosphere.
I love that though, that it only took him just a couple of seconds to do that because he's trained so much.
Yeah. As he says later in the film, it's like, I trained my entire life. What did you train on a farm?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a good encounter with Jor-El and General Zod here. Man. This thing's crazy, this machine. And then him coughing, too.
I love that. I don't know why people were complaining about that before.
Well, he did say he'd be weaker around it, but it shows you, like, man, there's something. I mean, otherwise, they complain that he's too overpowered.
Dumb.
And that makes sense if it's terraforming it to the planet. I mean, you have kryptonite there and stuff. That would make sense as something that would make kryptonite would probably like weaken him or affect him in some way.
Yep.
Oh man.
That shot kind of looked like A Quiet Place day one.
Yep.
I'm gonna go check it out.
It looked pretty good. And then this jet shot coming up where the jet goes down. We saw a little bit of that in BVS when Bruce Wayne was in Metropolis on this event.
See, this is what I didn't understand though, because Perry all of a sudden now he decides to leave. All right, everybody, we're leaving. We're like, what do you mean?
He didn't do that when a giant alien ship showed up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, now you're leaving?
Yeah.
It's like the minute there was an alien ship, would have got the hell out of there. Like, get out of here now. Oh, man. It's a crazy shot there with a jet. Maybe they should have waited till the thing was destroyed and then gone out. Boom. It's Jenny Olsen there. Gosh.
That like, must be horrifying.
This whole sequence is horrific. I don't know if it would have stopped him, but like later when him and Zod are fighting, it would have been cool if he saw him use his ice breath to like freeze the buildings before they fell, but I don't know if that would have helped or not.
Probably a whole bunch of ice just kind of collapses. Just shatters everybody. I didn't know that Zod was taller.
Yeah, I know. I just noticed that now.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot. My son is twice the man you
are. Ooh, that got under his skin.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck?
You'll finish what we started. I can promise you that. Yep. Tell me. You have Jor-El's memories and his conscience. Can you experience his pain? I will harvest the codec from your son's corpse, and I will rebuild Krypton atop his bones. Gosh, he delivers some cold lines in this movie.
He did.
Too bad. I wanted to see more of Jor-El's AI. Oh, well.
Yeah.
To think this little ship's going to play a major factor in the next two of Zack Snyder's trilogy.
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh man. Oh
I love the dynamics of the flying in this.
yeah.
It just makes him human. I love that he's coughing.
Makes me hurt watching that. Where I'm like, man, I feel like I'm coughing. Just
This is one of the most iconic scenes in this movie.
I love it too. And then how he looks like freaking Christopher Reeve in this moment coming up.
It's an homage. Did you ever see like the compilations that they did on YouTube where someone put Christopher Reeve's face kind of like blinking?
I didn't see that. I need to check it out.
It's so amazing. See, that must be terrifying.
And they're trying to save her, and it's getting closer to them. But like the music here, it's like hopeful, even though there's like scary things happening. It's like a ticking timetable, and then he's like getting up.
He was gonna abandon them like he did in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
he was in Dawn of the Dead too. I just realized that.
Yeah, would have been cool if he had Jonathan words. Like you have to decide what kind of man you want to be, Clark.
I would have actually preferred Russell Crowe's.
Oh, like do like they did with the Justice League.
Yes,
Flight 2.0. Yeah, you could save them, Cal. You could save all of them.
They have a version like that. I gotta find it. Yeah, look at.
This is epic. Man. Oh.
I love
that one shot right here. Man.
Look at that.
Time for him to yell again.
Yeah.
See, everyone, he didn't destroy the city. He was trying to save them all the way on the other side of the world. But now everything that does happen, that was kind of Superman.
It is, yeah. When he fights out.
But I'm like, that's every comic and cartoon that we've seen Superman fight, and there's buildings and stuff crumbling. It's like, that's Superman.
I was going to say, the most hilarious thing I just noticed is that this ship looks like the ship from The Incredibles.
Yeah, yeah. I love this shot here too, where he's like looking at the sun.
Yes. It's a source of power.
The power of the sun in the palm of his hand.
Yep. Converts it to Doc Ock.
Yeah, I know. You gotta be kidding me. What's it supposed to do? That's what she said. It's supposed to go in all the way. Oh, man. The scene makes me nervous, even though I know what's going to happen. It's like, just rotate it. Love Superman flying in here. Target locked.
Look at that. I love that shot in specifically, how he flies. Look at that.
This whole sequence here just feels like a comic book panel.
Yeah. You destroy Krypton.
He's like, Krypton had its chance.
I mean, bro, relax. It's not their fault.
And these this ship did hit these buildings, but also if you look, it's like in the already kind of damaged part of the area of Metropolis right here. Get a couple more buildings, but I mean, it was already kind of flattened out at that point.
See, I'm just curious where Affleck is at this point.
At this point, he's gonna be by the rubble by Wayne Tower because when well, hold on. Well,
No,
he's
yeah,
still
no, because yeah,
so he'd probably be by the rubble helping the guy that worked at. He's like, I can't feel my legs, because then after that sequence, he goes and he sees a little girl there, and then when he's looking up, that's when Superman and Zod are flying in. Oh, actually, that's a good
no,
question.
no, it happened before.
Yeah, I have to see.
He's like, no. Dang.
So he would have to be either driving or somewhere on the phone, because I was thinking we did get to see like this part here from his POV with the jet going in and blowing that thing up. I have to rewatch that just to see.
I mean, that's gonna be the next one.
Oh yeah, BVS. Yep, a good death is its own reward. In the original script, actually, he wasn't there. The whole Zod fight and neck snapping was supposed to happen. They're all we're going to end up in the Phantom Zone. That's how it was originally going to end.
I heard that. I'm actually happy the way that it ends now.
Oh yeah, I like the fight. Like yeah, I got sucked up. Damn, that would be kind of scary in itself, just being sucked into a freaking vortex right there.
Yeah.
This scene here, I love Lois's look here, because that's like something someone would do, not only in the comic book, but like superheroes don't exist in real life as far as like the comic book versions, and that's like somebody getting saved.
Yep.
In a moment where you're not expecting to get saved. Oh yeah, it'd be so great.
I just love the scream that Superman does, just because you feel how hard it is for him to fly.
Yeah, like you feel the momentum and everything he's going against
that.
to like fly Lois to safety.
Love that. Hmm?
I'm pretty sure it's downhill after the first kiss, and he's like, I'm pretty sure that only counts if you're human. Yeah, I saw a lot of people complain of like he killed all these people and then kissed Lois, where the other one saved a bunch of people. And I'm like, yeah, he didn't turn back time until Lois Lane died. He couldn't give a shit about anybody else dying until Lois died.
Yeah.
But I'm like, technically, Zod and the World Engine killed all those people.
Yep.
But I think also he wasn't expecting anybody to be around. He probably thought they all went to the Phantom Zone, because then there's Zod, and he's like, oh, he's still alive. Another chance to say nil before Zod.
It's crazy too that I don't see the placement of that quote anywhere.
No, but like he could have said like, it's like the world. I could like bury atop his bones or whatever. Every single human, the people you love, Cal, will take them from you. He's like, he could have said like, then they'll all kneel before Zod or something like that. But I understand it. Like it's one of the things like the Shrunks. Like it's iconic, but you don't really miss it. You know what I mean? In this incarnation.
Or better yet, it wasn't needed in this one.
Yeah. Man, you feel Zod's pain here. That's how good of an actor Michael Shannon is. It's just like,
yeah,
I feel kind of bad for him a little bit, even though he's a psycho. But he's just doing right by his people. He has no purpose.
Have no people.
Well, you have Kal-El. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I love this moment here with the music.
Take from me.
Boom, boom.
Damn, he went flying.
Yeah, no, these humans you've adopted, I will take them all from you one by one. "You're a monster, Zod, and I'm gonna stop you." I love that with him levitating upward. Oh,
Yeah.
such an epic moment. This is straight up some like Superman comics or like Dragon Ball Z coming to life here with this fight.
Yep. That's great, man. We've never seen anything like it.
It's crazy to know that they're in Wayne Enterprises right now.
Right now?
Yeah, this is a scene when Ben Affleck's looking, the lasers are going all over the building, like right here. So that Jack guy that's calling him is like on one of the upper floors before it falls down.
Gotcha. Man, I gotta rewatch BBS. I love that he can't control it.
Yeah.
Dun-dun. I love that.
Some of these same people also make an appearance in BVS. Another smoke shot. I love that. Then the LexCorp truck. Oh.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's crazy with all these cars flying. I love this fight. That and Batman actually uses this fighting maneuver against him in the final fight of BVS. They do the same maneuvers and then like he counters him.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh. Either you die or I do. Yeah, no shit, Zod. It's kind of the whole point. Going all puppy dog. I love this, and then he flies down. This feels like something straight out of a animated show or comic right here. This shot. Oh, charge. Actually, there's a funny moment of humor right here coming up where he's trying to, yeah, he's gonna hit him, and then it's 106 days without incident, and it's gonna hit down.
Zero.
Yeah, and it gets hit. I don't know. I think it's different. People have a lot of aversion to this because it's like, oh my god, look at the damage. But if you look at the cartoons and some of the comics, it's always like that. But I just think it's different seeing something like that in live action than it is, say, animated. Where do you train on a farm?
Plus, I can't blame Superman just because he's so overpowered. So I can assume that some things like that would happen.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Man, that suit is killer.
It's like, yeah, you're gonna have to really fight him now. He has your powers, buddy. This is just and this has been replicated in other superhero and other Superman and Supergirl media, like in TV and film. Like, I love that shot. And there's some cool things with like Ted Kord, and then there's a casino that's tied to Intergang and Darkseid in the DC comics. There's like a lot of Easter eggs here if you like go slowly through like him flying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's like, where'd you
Gosh,
go?
this is nuts. And you feel the weight of those punches with the sound. I love this. Is a crazy transition with his eyeball here. It's gonna go straight into his eye and then out. Oh man. Yeah, Utopia Casino as ties to Intergang and Darkseid there in the DC comics. This was something I noticed on the when I saw it in theaters because it was the Wayne Enterprises logo from Batman Begins, but I was like, oh my god, it's Wayne Enterprises satellite. So I assume that was his 7th one, and he dropped down to 6 after that.
It's funny how nobody caught that though on the first viewing, the Wayne Enterprises.
I did.
I did too, yeah.
But it's like casual fit, like people is like, yeah, there's Wayne Enterprises. I was flipping out. I was like, what? And LexCorp.
See, that's what Ben Affleck was watching. That.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Now, could he have covered his eyes? Absolutely. But it was one of those things where Zod wouldn't have stopped.
But I don't agree with that. Just because if they're both Kryptonian and Superman would have no hand.
Yeah.
It's like Aquaman when he chopped his hand off. But it's crazy how this scene is so controversial with Superman fans.
I didn't have
I'm a
a problem with
Superman
it.
fan, and I agreed with him.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like David S. Goyer put it in there, and originally that wasn't going to be the ending, but he put it in there to explain why he never kills because he killed the last of his people there, and that's why he doesn't kill later on. So I guess that was his reasoning. But I'm like, dude, guys, Christopher Reeve turned 3 Kryptonians human, crushed Zod's hand, and then threw his ass off the Fortress of Solitude with a
Yep.
smile. This guy does this, but you could feel the pain here when he's like screaming no or whatever. Like you could
Yep.
tell he didn't want to do that, but he was forced to, you know? I know it's a little hypocritical coming from like these so-called real DC fans, Superman fans. Everybody's gonna have their own incarnations, but I'm just like, okay, come off that, man.
I mean, also you could say the same thing for Ben Affleck's Batman. Oh my God, he's killing it. I'm like, Christian Bale, Michael Keaton.
It's like, oh, Michael Keaton's back. We don't have Batfleck who killed. It's like, okay, I guess you didn't see Michael Keaton when he lit a guy on fire with the back of his Batmobile in Batman Returns, or
Or he blew up a guy.
oh yeah, he did the
Yeah, he blew up a
dynamite.
guy.
Yeah. I love this scene here.
Even the commentary that we just did with Batman Forever, Kilmer killed Two Face.
Yeah, yeah. I love how he sends their drone back to them here. I know you're trying to find out where I hang my cape up. You won't.
Shit's hilarious. He's like, "Are you effing stupid?"
I know. It's even funnier now knowing it's Martian Manhunter.
I would have been really interested if I got to meet Henry Lennox, and I would want to ask him, when you did Man of Steel, did you know you were Martian Manhunter?
I know, because that would be kind of interesting. I grew
Yeah,
up
I'd
in
be like, wow.
Kansas. I'm about as American as it gets. I love that. You have to convince Washington of that. Yep. Leap of faith and then the trust part. And then stars. Is it Carol Ferris? I just think he's kind of hot, sir. Get in the car. Some funny moments of humor here. It feels natural. It's not like forced.
Exactly.
This whole ending is just chef's kiss. Superb. I love this ending. It's sad because he's like, I wish he could have been around to see it happen. It's like he did see it. And you get to see Kevin Costner looking at a younger Kal-El. Such an incredible shot here. Just Americana right here. I love it. It's like classic Superman right here with the cinematography. But then like Jonathan in this moment knowing what his son could be. He saw it right here. Man, so heartfelt. Just has that classic George Reeves Superman pose there. Man, what are you going to do when you're not saving the world? See, kids, Henry Cavill smiles in this.
He does. I gotta find a job. When I saw that, I was like, oh, we're gonna see Clark Kent.
Yep. This is a perfect ending. Then the Daily Planet Globe, the tie. I love how they don't fully reveal them yet. There's just like pieces. And then the glasses through the elevator there. Nobody wants to go with Lombard. It's funny because he's like, try the intern pool, and then Jenny is right there.
Jr.
Wow.
Film ropes. This is Clark Kent. Good luck.
I love this double meaning where she's like, "Welcome to the planet."
Yep.
Oh man, perfect ending right here. Yes, Man of Steel. That you can tell kind of had like a Christopher Nolan kind of feel in there with the title card. Such a perfect ending. And I also like that Lois knows the secret, so you're not going to have any of that secrecy. They know. Oh man, such a
Directed by
good
Zack
movie.
Snyder. What a awesome movie.
Even after 11 years, and like no matter the ups and downs and what happened, like this is still a good movie on its own. You know?
Yeah, what an awesome movie. I love it.
Yeah, definitely a top 5 for me. Like this and like the first 2 Richard Donner Supermans are probably like my favorite out of the Superman movies. Top favorite.
To me, this is my number 1, and then I would say the Donner cut is the second for me.
Yeah.
The Donner cut, and then I would do maybe the theatrical Superman movie, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would do 3, 4, and then Returns, I think.
Yeah.
But not saying it's more so of just preference.
Yeah.
I love Superman in general, so I don't think any of the movies are bad, even 3 and 4 of Christopher Reeves. But
they have a lot of good moments, and like I was saying earlier, like when you took a break a while ago, I said that like, you know, people may have their preferences, but I think all do a good job at capturing different eras of the comic books, like the Batman films. You know, they capture different moments from the decades of the comics, and they just adapt different areas. But after the DCEU, well, we can always talk about like what could have been, but as far as what is, I mean, I never thought there would be an expanded DC universe when I saw this movie. When I first saw it in theaters, I was like, "What?" And here we are. It's a shame with Warner Brothers. Maybe I don't know. I don't have much faith in WB because I always like to interfere and stuff. But like, I'm just glad that we got this. And again, like Batman Forever, another incarnation of Superman that was different. You know?
Yes, very much so. But also, too, what I liked about it, if you really think about it, there's so many Easter eggs, yet still a Superman movie.
Yeah.
So,
love
what
it.
You got to do, Warner Brothers. You just got to make a single movie.
Tell a good story, single movie, stays true to the character. It's all you have to do.
Yep. That was awesome. I loved it.
Guess what, kids? Not all the movies are going to be this epic. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
I'm excited to continue this journey for sure. I know that the next one is going to be BVS. I can't wait to revisit it, and we will be watching the Ultimate Edition.
Yes. No, I'm not going to do the theatrical Ultimate Edition. And then for people who like different cuts, both Mauricio and I are going to watch Justice League and then the Snyder Cut. We'll do Justice League first, just so I can watch the taste of that with the Snyder Cut after.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Something's definitely bleeding.
Oh, my
God. Should I add a CGI lip on the video? Should we add CGI lips? Like CGI
we just deep fake it.
Yeah, deep fake it. Yeah, we could do that on Justice League. But anyway, that was it for our Man of Steel watch party commentary. And the coming months, we're going to be going over the DC films, and we're going to add the Batman in honor of the Penguin in September on Max.